Good morning. We're going to make a snack shack today. We're going to have tomato and basil bread. Really simple ingredients. We've just got some strong white bread flour, some instant yeast, fresh basil, and a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. These sun-dried tomatoes are actually from our own school. We grew them in the polytunnel last summer and Chef has preserved them for us. First of all, I just need to wash my hands. So we need to measure out the flour. Today we're going to use electric scales for a change. So I'm going to place my bowl on the scales before I turn it on, and it will set to 0. Now I know that I'm going to add my flour and it's just going to tell me the number of grams. I need 225 grams. Ooh, nearly there, just a little bit too much. So the electric scales are much more accurate, and today I want to be accurate when I'm making the bread. There we are. Oh, one too many. There we are. 225 grams of flour. Next, the yeast. So again, put my bowl on, switch it on, get my 0. I need 7 grams of instant yeast. Oh, there we are, just about right. That's going to go into my flour. We'll just mix that up. Then we want to create a well in the centre. That just means a hole in the centre of the flour. So we've got a hole there in the middle, ready for me to pour the water in. So our recipe says we need 150 mils of warm water. This water is warm slightly, but not too hot. It wouldn't say it's hot water. We call it hand temperature. That means it's comfortable to put our hand in there. So we're going to pour in most of that, but also we need some oil from the sun-dried tomato. It says 2 to 3 tablespoons of the oil from the sun-dried tomato. So if I put in 2 to start with, well, it's dripped a bit, but that will be fine because 2 to 3. And then we're going to add most of the hot water, but warm water, but not all of it. Start to bring it together with a wooden spoon. Then I'm going to swap to my hands, bring it together, and then if it needs a bit more water I can add that in, which I think I will just have a tiny bit more. And we'll just bring these little bits on the bottom of the bowl together. So my dough has come together into a ball now. I'm going to put a bit of flour onto my work surface. Then we'll take the dough out and we're going to knead it until it is soft and silky. So how you knead is up to you. I quite like to use the heel of my hand to push and then fold and bring it in. Some people like to use their knuckles. You can even pull it apart, you can squish it together with your hands, you can do whatever you like. It's a very good chance to just play around with the texture and enjoy the feeling of the bread. Okay, so I've been kneading the dough for a little while now and it's become soft and smooth. So when I'm pulling it, it's very elastic, it's got lots of gluten working away there now. So my next job is to roll this out into a rectangle. So I'm going to have a little bit more flour and my rolling pin. I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle. tomatoes are all chopped up now, and we're going to place them onto the dough. So it says on the side nearest to you, dot the sun-dried tomatoes across the dough. And then add some basil leaves. I've got fresh basil leaves. If you don't have fresh, you can use dry, that's fine. I'm just going to tear those up with my fingers and place that over the bread as well. Then we're going to roll the dough. So I'm taking this edge nearest to me. I'm going to roll it, roll it, roll it. So I've got a big long roll of bread dough. Then we need to chop the dough, chop it in half. Then each half in half again. That's going to give me quarters, 4 quarters. Then each of those quarters in half again, which will give me 8 pieces, or eighths. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now they're ready to go into our tray. Just going to use a little bit of the sun-dried tomato oil to oil our tray so they don't stick. I'm going to place them up Okay, and we'll leave that to prove for half an hour, and they'll grow and swell until they join together. Right, the bread's had half an hour proving. You can see it has grown, it's got bigger, and all the edges have stuck together now. So we're going to pop it in the oven. The recipe says 220 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. So I've set my oven at 220 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to pop the bread in. This one is a grown-up job because the oven is hot. We'll give that 20 to 25 minutes and see how it gets on. So our bread's had half an hour in the oven. Let's have a look.
It smells delicious.
Ooh,
Ooh, look.
Looking good.
They look delicious. Are they cinnamon? Are they raisin?
They are sun-dried tomato and basil, but you could try whatever filling you like. I'd love to see what you choose.
Oh yeah, I've done some like that with cinnamon before and they were really nice. That looks brilliant.